to film this and to put it onto YouTube and like, you know, obviously post it so that people will watch it, that is a big thing. A lot of people are gonna know, and that's quite a stressful thing to do. So like if I seem a bit low energy, it's just because like this is a hard thing for me to talk about and put out. But I'm ready to do it. It's just, I don't know, it's just a hard thing to talk about. This is gonna be hard. Hi, I'm Maddie, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be filming something a little bit different for me. As I did mention in another video, I would be telling you about my coming out story and all of the stuff that went along with that. If you want to hear my story and listen to what I have to say, stick around and let's get into it. If you're new here, you probably won't know, but yes, I'm bisexual. And if you're not new here, this is my story. So from the beginning, I suppose, one of the main things people ask is, when did you find out? Like, I got the memo last week. That's not really how it works. I've always known ever since I was little. I think I probably had girlfriends before I even had boyfriends as a child. I feel like, you know, some people, you know, when some people are confused and they don't know if they just like boys or if they think they might like girls, or the other way around, if they think they only like girls and they might like boys. I never really had that. It was more, I always wondered if I would only ever always like girls and if I would never like boys. I'm trying to think the first time I ever even told somebody. Pretty sure I was in a science lesson and there was a lad flirting with me and I just said I don't even like boys. And then it ran. You tell one person something and it runs. Like, I remember that lesson was like first thing in the morning, and by the afternoon everybody knew. Everybody was saying stuff to me. People were ignoring me, you know, people being just not very nice about. How old was I at that point? I was like 13, but I knew. I just got sick of everybody giving me shit, so I just decided to be like, I did it for attention. I'm not actually bi, I don't actually like girls. And for everybody just accepted. Not to say that like people didn't still bully me after, and I'm also not saying that that was the right thing to do. It's just I couldn't deal with the constant hate. I didn't want to live my life and feel like that. I suppose I came out and then I went back in, and you know, I was very conscious of it and I hid it, and if anybody ever mentioned it I'd brush it off and be like no, like, just because it was easier to just ignore it than be hated for it and, you know, get bullied for it. My closest friend that I've been friends with for almost 8 years now, she always knew, always did know. I never once hid it from her and I was very open with her about that. And then other people, you know, they kind of just forgot about it, wasn't really a thing, or we'd talk about it, but I would never be like 100% open about it. And then I think when I got to college, I told a few people. 2 years ago, I joined like a new friendship group. I felt comfortable with them, and pretty sure I told a few of them, but it got round the group, and I feel like everyone just knew. But like the people that I hadn't told didn't want to ask me about it. It was kind of a weird situation. I don't really speak to that group anymore. I speak to a few people. Actually, some of them are still very good friends of mine. It's just, you know, people change and life moves on. So I suppose I'm moving on to when I actually told my parents, my family, which was recently, because as I said in another video, like I was in a long-term relationship. And I'm not saying that if you're in a relationship with somebody of the opposite sex that you can't still be bisexual. It's just like I was in a relationship at the time, and I feel like, you know, wasn't really sure how my family would take it, how my boyfriend at the time would have taken it, because I'm pretty sure I never actually told him either. So when I'd broken up with my ex, I told all of my friends. Basically, I was on a night out and I have a private story on Snapchat. So basically you can choose who can view it. There's about 43 people on there now. I suppose there was probably around 35 at the time. And I do actually speak to all of these people. They're people that I care for. I could probably name you every single person on there and at what point in my life I met them, what significance they have to me. I was on a night out and I was just like, you know what, like I don't know why I'm hiding it, so I just put a little post up on my private stories saying like, all our bitches, like this is the crack, and everybody was super supportive. My brothers are actually also on there, so that's how my brothers found out. I both, to be fair, I was not that like they would have, but you never know when telling family how they would react to that. So I was majorly worried that my brothers weren't going to take that well, but complete opposite. They were both super proud of me. Right, okay, and so I suppose I told my parents. That wasn't like a moment when it was like I sat everybody down and just told them. Like I feel like I'd kind of hinted to my mum so many times but just not actually said it. So I feel like when I told my mum, we were just in a car on a drive and I just said, well, I'm bisexual, and she was just like, cool, like I love you the same, doesn't change anything about you. And I'm pretty sure I was just in the kitchen when I told my dad, and he just gave me a hug and he was like, you're still my daughter, I still love you. I didn't even need to tell them. I didn't have to tell anybody. I didn't have to even come out. Like that's not, like you don't have to do that. I wanted to tell them at the point, and I wanted to tell them. I was ready to tell them. I was ready to just come out with it, and not like I was keeping it a secret, but just, you know, make sure I was not hiding anything from them. But, you know, I could have just come home with a girlfriend and my parents would have been like, chilling, how are you, nice to meet you, type thing. Like my parents have always been very accepting. People say, have you lost friends over it? 100%. I've lost so many friends over it because they think that you fancy them, and even though you won't, like you don't, it's the same, like you don't fancy every single person you walk past in the street. Like just because I like boys doesn't mean I like all boys. Just because I like girls doesn't mean I like all girls. Like I have a type in both. Oh, another question I always get asked a lot is like, do you prefer girls more or boys more? Not everybody has an answer to that question. Some people are just, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know, for me I suppose, I don't know, I wouldn't say like I'm 50-50. I'd say I think it's a little bit harder for me to build that connection with a lad, and I've got quite a specific type in boys. You prefer the connection you build with a woman. I think it's a lot easier to get like a solid relationship. I find it a lot easier to build that connection with them, but there's not that many to come by, whereas there is a lot of straight males that you could build that connection with. Also, in saying that, I'm not on the market as you were. I'm not looking for a relationship at the moment. Not because I'm speaking to anybody or because I'm already in a relationship. No, I'm focusing on myself. And while I'm not searching for one, I'm also not pushing people away. I just think I'd rather spend a year speaking to somebody, dating somebody, getting to know them before I just jump into a relationship. But yeah, this video was a little bit hard for me to film, but I know that it might help other people out there that are nervous about coming out or worried to for reasons that they can't. You know, if you're not in the same situation that I am and are as lucky as me to be accepted by my family and by my friends, I feel so sad for you if you're in that situation. And you know, you can always reach out to me and speak to me on my social medias. They are in the description below. If you are in that situation, like, reach out to me. I would, you know, really appreciate that, and I would definitely make time for you. That was my story and a few questions answered. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me your story. Tell me anything. Are you an ally to the LGBTQ plus community? Would love to hear it. Just chat to me down there. It's always fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!